From
We're
the
ready.
voice of Warren County, AM 1330.
Good morning. It is 8:40 on this sunny Friday, February the 10th. 24 degrees with a wind chill of 14, winds blowing out of the northwest at 10 miles per hour. We do have wind gusts around 20 miles per hour at this time. Your forecast is courtesy of Community National Bank. Sunny skies today with a high near 33. Northwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour today with wind gusts around 20 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 20. Tomorrow looks fantastic. Sunny, high near 43. Southwest wind 5 to 10. Tomorrow night, clear with a low around 25. Super Bowl Sunday, sunny and 47. Monday, sunny, high again around 46. Tuesday, we'll see high up near 50, but rain likely, 70% chance in the afternoon on Tuesday with breezy conditions. But Wednesday, partly sunny, high of 56 degrees. Right now, it's 24. In the studio with us this morning, our community hour is sponsored by Security Savings Bank. We have Vice President Dorothy Ricketts. Hi, Dorothy.
Hello, how are you?
You got excited over that forecast, huh?
Oh yes, that 56 or 57 sounds really good.
That's good walking the dog weather,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is. Yes, it is.
Well, we're glad to have the February that we're having.
Yes, we are.
So
Yes.
a little bit different, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but I'll take it.
You do. Well, it's so good to see you. Unfortunately, you're here because you have to be here and share with our audience some of the things that are plaguing our area and with, the bad guys out there.
The scams that are going on,
Yeah.
and I'll say what I say every time we talk. It's just so important for people to be exposed to what some of these scams are and how they operate, because if you have exposure, if you get to hear about them from me, then when you get this phone call or you get a computer pop-up, you know that you can sit back and take some time and think about whether or not this information is logical. So that's really my goal here, is to alert people to some of the processes and some of the scams that are out there, just so I'll tell you a story. I had a customer come in and say, hey, I got one of those phone calls from somebody that said they were from Social Security, and I had just heard you talk about that on the radio. So I said, no, you're not, and I hung up on him. And I thought, yay, because I think otherwise this person might have spent some time listening, being concerned that something was wrong.
Sure.
So
Glad to help. So you do your thing, Dorothy. The floor is yours.
The first thing I want to talk about is something we've heard at the bank a couple times in the last couple of weeks. And these scams have come about from different methods. One particular one was a phone scam. The person was called and was told that they were being contacted by a federal agency, and it was the old story of their car was found in Texas. A car they previously owned was found in Texas with drugs and blood in it, and all of their money was going to be frozen if they didn't get it out of the bank right away. So they were giving him a courtesy call while they were being investigated. The other people that talked to me about concerns, it was as simple as a Microsoft pop-up on their computer saying that there were problems, and they called the number on the Microsoft pop-up. Here's the similarities in these two circumstances. The person was not able to get off the phone. The scammers made them stay on the phone with them while they went to the bank to try to get money. They just stay on the phone with us. You don't have to act like you're on the phone, but we want to hear what's going on. The scammers, of course, told them not to tell anybody. You don't tell anybody. And the scammers told them to get cash and buy cryptocurrency with it to take their money out of the bank so it couldn't be frozen and get it into another investment. And so interestingly, I learned some new things this week. There are kiosks in Galesburg that will accept cash so that you can purchase cryptocurrency. We actually had one of our coworkers who was in that area go check a couple of them out, and so we learned some information about that too. But if you're ever asked to pay anything or to put your money in a safe place by purchasing something you don't understand, like cryptocurrency, don't do it. You don't have to do it. Talk to your banker and see. Even though they tell you not to tell the bank, that's one of their pushes. Don't tell anybody. Go ahead and talk to your banker and see. Don't buy something you don't understand, because face it, I think most of us don't understand crypto. And if don't buy something you don't understand, because it's difficult to get back.
Right.
I'll just say that. So in these cases, we were able to get most of it stopped before people did buy cryptocurrency. Like I say, we learned something new.
Yes.
Learned something new. The second one we're hearing a lot about, and this is ongoing, is phone calls saying that we're processing a purchase, usually through Amazon or some sort of online transaction, on your credit card, and it's usually in hundreds of dollars. And again, the purpose is to scare you, to say, oh, I didn't do that. I don't want that charged on my credit card. I don't want to have to pay for that. And the scammers try to get you to provide your credit card number and information so that the quote unquote refund can be processed, so that the purchase doesn't go through. Scammers lots of times will use Amazon because so many people order off of Amazon, but they'll use others too. I've seen it, I've heard about it through phone calls, I've heard about it through emails. An email popular one is to say your Norton computer, thank you, antivirus is renewing, and the cost is going to be in several hundreds of dollars. And a lot of people use Norton or some of the other ones. So it's just close enough to something that may be happening to a person that they respond, panic, and say, okay, here's my information, I want this refund. So, if this happens to you, stop and do some research. Check in and see. If you have Norton antivirus, go into it and see when it expires. If you use Amazon, go into your account and see if there's actually a purchase on there that shows for that amount before you get concerned. If you're still concerned about it, call the number on your credit card and say, hey, I've been called, said that this charge is going through. Is that an accurate statement? Check it out through a different means of information.
Because we get it all the time. We will get, you purchased a $1,700 TV.
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
I wouldn't pay $1,700 for a TV.
Yes.
But so in your brain you're going, and you want to do something about it.
Yes.
But it's a fake.
Yes.
It's a scam.
Absolutely.
And don't click on it.
Absolutely.
Because that's how you get the ransomware.
Absolutely. And it's a successful scam because it works. So that's why they keep trying it. And the third thing I want to talk about is, we're going into tax season.
We're in tax season.
Well, true.
You ask an accountant right now.
True. And again, the scammers will call, say they're calling from the IRS or Social Security or the federal government, and they'll threaten that your funds are going to be frozen, and they'll say you owe a debt and you need to pay it right away. But again, they'll ask for payment in an odd way, like go buy gift cards. Go to a store, buy gift cards, scratch the protective coating off the back and give me the gift card number, and that'll make your payment. But there's no proof of any payment there. So if you stop and think about it logically, government usually wants you to pay by a sweep out of your account or by a check so that you've got some proof of that payment being made. Second point is the government will never call you. I shouldn't say never. You will get letters before you get a phone contact from government agencies. They have to have their paper trail for contacting people. So you just want to don't let it scare you, which leads to my final point. The scammers want you to keep it secret. Don't tell anybody. Don't be, we get occasionally, we're investigating somebody at the bank, so don't tell anybody at the bank what you're doing, even if they ask. Because we ask sometimes. If somebody comes in to take a large amount of cash out, we always try to impress on them that it could be for scam purposes. If you're being told not to tell anybody, if you're being told to keep it a secret, if you're being rushed to do it by a certain time today, those are indications of a scam. But the scammers are on the other side saying, don't tell anybody, or I've seen it for, opportunities. You have an opportunity to make $200,000, but don't tell anybody because we don't want everybody to know about it. Well, if those opportunities are there, they're well publicized if it's a legitimate. So don't keep it secret. If you have any niggling doubt, talk to your banker. I've said this before, your bankers sit at that desk, you know where to find them every day. That scammer on the phone or that person on the phone, even if you don't know they're a scammer, or the messages through your computer, there's no way to get in touch with them if they choose not to respond.
That's why we want the young people to know using a local bank is a real person who can do a massive amount of work for you
Absolutely.
in these situations.
Absolutely.
When you use these online banking resources, it's not a human, it's not a local person you can talk to who knows and gets to know your activity.
And I know on behalf of customers, I've tried to contact some of the bigger banks, and it's pretty hard to get to a human a lot of times. And we even have background resources to look, and I find it hard to get to a human when it's a banking issue. So yeah, there is a lot to be said for somebody that you can go in and sit across the desk from and talk to for a while. So.
Also want to point out this morning, romance scams will be hitting hard with Valentine's Day week.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You've seen those and they've been devastating.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another one where the scammers insist on staying connected with the person while they go to the bank to get the money. They're just keep messaging me on your tablet, or just stay on the phone with me and talk, and I'll tell you how to respond to their questions. And with romance scams, they're sweet talking you. The previous scams I've mentioned, these are more threatening, act right away. But a romance scam, these scammers, they're sweet talking. They're your friend. They're your boyfriend or your girlfriend. They want to get together with you. Let's get engaged, and then we'll come get together and meet. And it progresses rapidly. And they're very good at the phrases they use, and how they practice how to talk to people, and probably have great training in it to manipulate people. And so it's very, if you're lonely, if you're vulnerable, it's very difficult to remove yourself from it. And it's so important to just hang up the phone at the first point of something not seeming right. You just can't say more than that. So
now I'm going to ask another question, and I'm throwing this on you, so if you can't answer it today, that's okay. But in all of this discussion, and in talking with Josh Kramer with the Monmouth Police Department now, and learning more, you almost feel like you need one of those companies that watches your stuff for you.
Yeah, and I will say I personally do not use one of those, so I can't speak to the success that they have. There's LifeLock, and that's the one I know of that's national, and there are other smaller entities. There, the different credit cards will offer programs that will watch your credit type of thing. There's Norton and others that go on your computers. Interestingly, the last couple of people I've helped with scams have had malware apps downloaded on their phone at the direction of the scammers. You need to download this app so that we can continue with this. And then that malware was able to monitor what they did on their phone, as far as calls, as far as accessing apps, seeing account balances if they got on their banking app, that kind of thing. So it's not just computers and tablets that are vulnerable, it's the phones that are vulnerable too. So that would be a good question, I think, for a computer guru or a phone provider in those circumstances. So maybe if you had some sort of protective system on your phone, for example, it wouldn't let you download something that had the malware in it.
Okay.
Type of thing.
Good information, Dorothy. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm glad to share it. And again, I just can't stress, if you have questions, check with your friendly local banker. Even if you're not our customer, I have a lot of background and a lot of training in scams, and I am happy to help and dig down to the bottom of things.
Yeah, a lot of experience. We really appreciate you coming in this morning.
I'm glad to do it. Glad to be here.
Dorothy Ricketts with us, Vice President with Security Savings Bank on 1330 WRAM and FM 94.1. It is 8:54. Good morning.
Manager at
Lots of scams out there, doggone
Oh
it.
boy, that whole
Scary.
that's the tip of the bucket.
She deals with it all day.
Iceberg.
Oh my
The
gosh.
crypto part just stuns me, though. People who know nothing about anything are going and
Oh,